Welcome, my name is Janet Broughton and this is the first video of a week of Tap Along with Janet videos. And by tap along, we're referring to Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT, and most commonly known as tapping. Why? Because we tap. So we're very simple folk in EFT world. We like to keep it so that it's accessible for everybody. Now, before we start, I want you to have a few things around you. I want you to have a pen and paper, a glass of water, and some tissues, because sometimes people cry. You want to be in a place that's quiet, where you're not going to be disturbed. Shut the door, switch the phone off. There's other people in the house, tell them you're not to be disturbed. So I would pause the video at this point and make sure that you've got all that in place. Now, assuming you pause the video, you've gone and got all that, and you switch me back on. Okay. Now, we so often refer to EFT as acupuncture without the needles. So it's the same principle as acupuncture, the meridians, the energy lines, the flow of the body. When we have emotional problems, it's because those energy lines have got blocked. So what we're going to do is unblock them, but we do that by tapping as opposed to sticking needles in, which equally means, for those of you frightened of needles, we don't have that fear. And I also enable you to do it for yourself. Now, you're watching this video, you will feel some relief. That does not mean you are then qualified to go out and do all this. I am always cautious with people about following things like this online. This is a taster. Okay, I want to make that very clear. So I first came across EFT 17 years ago, and that was as a result of having broken my back the previous year. I was still in a lot of pain and up like that. And the hospital had told me two things. One was, we've done all we can, fine. So you will be in pain for life. No, I wasn't having that. And therefore I went in search of something that would rid me of the pain, because it wasn't the broken back anymore. The break had healed, it was the muscle damage. And through discovering EFT and working with a practitioner, all the pain cleared and I went on to become a yoga teacher. That made such an impact on my life, as you can imagine. I wanted to therefore share this passion for EFT with the world. And strangely, because of COVID, I now do share it across the world, and some of you will be joining me from I have no idea where, but globally, and you are very welcome. So I want to just demonstrate the points we're going to tap before we actually go into the full tapping. So we start off with the side of the hand, and you use the flat of your fingers to tap the side of the hand, okay? And we're going to use what we call a setup statement. So if it was, for instance, a fear of spiders, even though, and that's very important, that even though bit, I am terrified of spiders, I totally and completely love and accept myself. Now, we put the even though bit in because when somebody has a fear or phobia or a negative belief, whatever it is, they will quite often say, I'm terrified of spiders. I know I'm stupid. You beat yourself up with a big stick. So even though I've got that, I love and accept myself. And I want you to say that even if you think, I don't love and accept myself, just say it anyway. So we do that 3 times. We make that statement all the time, tapping. Then we go into the round of tapping. Now you have your fingers like that, you see, and they're just tapping just towards, not absolutely centre of the head, just a little bit at the back. And we just say the middle bit, I'm terrified of spiders. And then we have 2 fingers and you wrap your thumb over your little finger and your ring finger and you tap the beginning of the eyebrow, I'm terrified of spiders. Side of the eye, that bony bit, I'm terrified of spiders. Under the eye, that cheekbone, I'm terrified of spiders. Above the lip, below the nose, I'm terrified of spiders. On your chin, I'm terrified of spiders. And then we make a soft fist and we tap the collarbone. I'm terrified of spiders. And then we use the flat of the hand underneath the arm. I'm terrified of spiders. and then we'll take a nice breath, and you'll see how you feel differently. Now, we measure that in a number of ways. We'll measure it, first of all, I will ask you to put a number on a scale of 1 to 10. 0, there's nothing, 10, you're beyond, your worst nightmare. And so I ask you for a number somewhere in between that. When we've done the round of tapping, I ask you to re-access the EFT number, and it will have come down. If it hasn't, in a one-to-one situation, I would do a bit more questioning and find what I'm missing, because sometimes I am. It's my role here is to be the detective. Now, obviously, we're online, so I can't be that detective. So I'm just going to help you do some small stuff, okay? And then we just keep repeating it in a one-to-one situation. I would do that until we get to 0, and there is no fear whatsoever. And I know at this point it sounds impossible, but I absolutely promise you it's true. Now, we may not manage that in this video because I don't know where you're all at. So I will do a few rounds to bring us all down, and then you will have felt benefit and experience what is so hard to describe, but it's so wonderful once you experience it. So the first thing I want you to do, that pen and paper, I want you to, first of all, decide what fear or phobia you wish to work on. I'm just going to get my glass of water, which I've left over here. And I'm going to have my sip of water. So, is it your fear of spiders? Is it your fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of driving on motorways, fear of worms? I've had that before now. Fear of going outside too much on your own. Fear of being underground. I couldn't go potholing, wouldn't go near it, So that it can be anything. You choose that fear or phobia. So I want you to write that down. And then I want you to just define a little bit what it is that frightens you. So, for instance, if I have a room full of people who are frightened of spiders, then I will get a list of things people associate with spiders. Too many legs, the big ones, the black ones or dark ones, the fact that they scuttle, that they're there one minute and gone the next, or even worse, they've gone and then they appear because we don't know where they are. So that what is it really that frightens you about that spider? It might be you've read that you can swallow them in your sleep, or that you could get bitten by one and poisoned. And you see, I'm building this up. Sorry to the people out there who are frightened of spiders, but that is the reality. So just take a minute and write down A, your fear, and B, what it is about that particular thing. Whether it could be snakes, could be, they're slithery, that they don't have legs, they can poison you. Back to those fears. The fear of the motorway, it's too fast, I might crash. What is it? So I'm going to shut up for a minute, have my glass of water, and ask you to write that down. Okay, now what I want you to do is that scale of 1 to 10. So how high on that scale of 1 to 10 is your fear or phobia? Is it 10, 9, 8, 7? What number is it? There's no right answer to this, it's just your feeling. So write your number down. Don't ponder over it too much, just the first number that came into your head. If you're not sure, just guess. Now I want you to do, just close your eyes for a minute. Think about that fear or phobia. And just notice how your body feels. What's coming up for you? Could be feelings in your stomach, in your chest, your back, your shoulders, anything. Just what does your body feel like when you think about that fear or phobia? If there was a spider next to you, if you were on the motorway, if you were on the 24th floor. Yeah, you felt it. I know you have. So open your eyes. Make a note of that. Just make a note. So now what you've written down is what the fear or phobia is, what it is about that fear or phobia that's the worst, the number you're at, and how your body feels. So we've got quite a few things going there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tap on. As I tap, this is what I'll say. Even though I have this fear, I totally and completely love and accept myself. What I want you to do, when I say fear, you put in whatever it is, even though and it might be terrified, it might be fear, it might be scared of. Again, what's your word to describe it? So even though I'm terrified of going any higher than the 4th floor, I totally and completely love and accept myself. See? So you put it in. I'll just say the word fear, but it's your word, frightened, scared, terrified, whatever you describe it as, and what it is. So if it was a spider, it might be, even though I'm scared of big fat spiders. That's all you need to do. So your words, because they're the most powerful, because they express. Don't say it in a way, I'm not giving you the words because I haven't got your words. It's your feeling. Okay. So assuming you sat down, make sure you're nice and straight in the chair, sit up. See if you can, don't uncross anything. Don't have your legs crossed. Have your feet on the floor. Okay, so that lets the energy flow. So let's have a go. So start tapping the side of the hand with the flat of the other hand. Okay, it doesn't matter which side, doesn't matter if you're left or right-handed, you can do it that way. Really doesn't matter. Okay. And then start repeating after me. Even though I have this fear, I totally and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this fear, I totally and completely love and accept myself. Even though, and you do have to say it out loud, by the way, I have this fear. I totally and completely love and accept myself. Well done, brilliant. I've got an itch under my eye. Okay, now the fingers like that, just slightly back from the center of the head, like that. I have this fear. Remember, you're putting your own words in. Now, take the thumb across the ring finger and the little finger, and just tapping the beginning of the eyebrow. Okay. I have this fear. Now, the side of your eye, that bony bit there. I have this fear. Under the eye, the cheekbone. I have this fear. Now, between the nose and the lip, I have this fear. On your chin, I have this fear. Then that soft fist just on the collarbone there. I have this fear. Flat of your hand, underneath your arm. I have this fear. And then relax. Nice big breath. Have some water. Now, things you may have noticed as you were going round, you might have done a few sighs. You might have laughed even. You might have yawned. You might have burped. You might have got the words mixed up, all of which are signs of the energy moving and you removing some of that fear. So now on your piece of paper, put down your number. Where are you at now on that scale of 1 to 10 in your fear of whatever it is? And now I want you to close your eyes and again go to your body. How's it feeling now? Notice if you think about that fear, spiders running near you, you're 10 flights up, you're driving on the motorway. Now open your eyes and write that down. So you will have noticed a change. The number will have changed and your body sensations will have changed. They may have moved to another part of your body, or for instance, if your shoulders were tight, they might feel a bit looser, things like that. You might feel your breathing's easier, your stomach's calmer. Who knows? I'm not there with you. But you'll have all had some kind of reaction. So we're going to do it again. Okay, I'm going to do 3 rounds so that we make sure we've made a really good dent in this fear. Okay, so again, tapping on the side of the hand. Repeat after me. Even though I still have this fear, I totally and completely, remember you're using your words, not the word fear, unless it is fear, love and accept myself. Even though I still have, I want you to say that bit, I still have, and then the fear, this fear. I totally and completely love and accept myself. Even though I still have this fear. I totally and completely love and accept myself. Good. Now the fingers just above the head like that. I still have, so repeat that bit, this fear. In your words. 2 fingers, finger across the ring finger and the little finger, beginning at the eyebrow. I still have this fear. Under the eye, I still have this fear. I still have this fear. You're doing well. Onto the arm. I still have this fear. Nice big breath. Glass of water or sip of water. Now again, write down what number you're at. Just go for the first number that comes into your head, and if you're not sure, just guess it. Notice any body sensations that you had just before or round with tapping. So did you laugh? Did you yawn? Did you feel bloated? Did you, burp? Whatever. Big sighs. They're all reactions. You may be crying. That's why I asked for the tissues as well. And then just close your eyes. And again, imagine that thing you're frightened of. The spider, the heights, the driving on the motorway, the snakes, whatever it is. How does your body feel now? And then open the eyes, write down how your body's feeling. And again, you will have noticed it coming down. Maybe you're just doing that, just loosening your body without realizing it. Just take that awareness. Are you having a nice stretch because you're feeling it releasing? Yeah. I used to have one lady, and you will all be different, who just would nod at me and go, got me tingle, it's working. I've had people who just nod and smile at me. They've noticed a difference. And there are others who feel really dramatic differences. Depends how you react to things. But the difference is there. So now we're going to do the next round. Okay. So tapping the side of your hand, even though, now the bit I'm going to put in first before we get to the fear this time, is I still have some of this fear left. And then whatever the fear was, I totally and completely love and accept myself. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I totally and completely love and accept myself. Even though I still have some of this fear left. I totally and completely love and accept myself. Good. Now, the head. Fingers just like that. Still have some of this fear left. You need the eyebrow. Still have some of this fear left. Still have some of this fear left. I still have some of this fear left. And under the arm, I still have some of this fear left. And release. Nice breath, a sip of water. And the water's keeping you hydrated. When we do energy work, it does need to be kept hydrated. So it can have quite an effect on your body. Okay. So again, write down, what number are you at now? And then do that closing of the eyes, going into the body, and see how the sensations are feeling now. And then gently open the eyes, write them down. So if you look at the first number you wrote down and where you are now, and look at the body sensations and how they've changed, in a matter of a few minutes, we've really changed things for you. You can continue to tap for yourself because some of you might be already down to 0. Some of you may be at a 2 or 3, something. You know, you're all in different places, but you can keep and notice how I changed the wording. Because at first it was this fear, then it was I still have the fear, then it was I still have some of the fear. So now you'd go have a little bit of fear. So if there is anything left, just do it like that. Now I've made you feel a lot calmer because you've let go of some of that fear, and feeling a lot brighter because you've released some of that fear. However, you won't just have one fear. And you know how severe that fear can get, how it can cause you heart palpitations, the sweaty palms, the nausea, so much going on. And all negative emotions will do that in different ways for different people. I've just worked on fear today. When a client comes to me, we work on all of the things that are stopping them living their best life. And at the moment, we've just reduced one of them slightly, just as an example. So if you want to contact me, we can have a complimentary 30-minute discovery session to find out how I can help you and remove all of those fears and permanently. Then you do get to live your best life. So on the bottom of this video, there are details of how to contact me. I'm the positive thinking coach. And maybe I want to be doing the positive change as well, because that's what it's going to be for you. The website is the Positive Thinking Coach. And my email is janetbroughton@thepositivethinkingcoach.com. So you can contact me on Facebook. If you're watching it there, you can contact me via email. And I will leave the details on the bottom. So thank you so much. I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit easier now and you realise how quickly things can change and the power you have within your own body. So thank you very much. Goodbye.